Welcome to the Deep Dive. Your shortcut to, well, profound knowledge and those surprising insights, those moments that just make you see things a little differently.
Yeah, we're here to unpack some big ideas and hopefully make them really relevant for you.
And you're joining us for Deep Dive number 14 in our special series, Wisdom Unveiled.
That's right. Today we're journeying into the really extraordinary world of the 12th century Persian poet and mystic, Fariduddin Attar Nishapuri, his ideas.
Wow, they still offer so much depth today.
They really do. Now, our source material for this, it comes from some pretty rich philosophical and mystical conversations, specifically featuring renowned Iranian philosophers, Dr. Ibrahim Dinani and Dr. Ismail Mansouri Larijani from the program Marifat.
It's an incredible source, really, a unique window into these ancient wisdom traditions.
Definitely. But we should add a quick note, right?
Yes, important. This deep dive is a translation of those original Farsi conversations. So some concepts, some details, they might not be fully conveyed exactly as intended. We apologize for any discrepancies. We've done our absolute best to capture the core essence, the universal wisdom there.
Exactly.
So, our mission today, we want to explore Attar's unique understanding of, well, inner and outer realities, the true nature of intellect, what time really means.
And maybe surprisingly, the wisdom we can actually learn from the earth itself.
It sounds like a deep dive into self-discovery and maybe universal truth.
I think so. We'll try to show how these ideas, which might seem kind of abstract at first, are actually deeply relevant to our own lives, to our own search for truth and meaning.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Attar's world. Maybe start with a powerful story from his huge work, the Musibatnameh. It gets translated as the Book of Trials or Affliction.
Right, but Musibat here, it's not just about ordinary sadness or problems. In this mystical context, it really means deep inner challenges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a spiritual journey, an odyssey that refines the self on the path to truth. It's about facing these profound internal struggles, way beyond just worldly stuff, to reach something higher.
Trials of the soul, then. Makes sense. So, in this story, an ascetic builds a beautiful temple, right, in a spring field. And he's devoted to worship.
Exactly. And Jesus passes by and asks him, what's his purpose? What's he really seeking?
And the ascetic reveals this deep, unfulfilled desire. He wants to live in the Khayyar, the beloved street or abode, not just experience the Bouillard, which is the beloved scent.
And that difference is, well, it's everything. Bouillard, the scent that's experiencing the beloved from afar, like being intoxicated by the smell of spring, It's anticipation, longing.
Okay, I get that.
But Khayyar, the abode, that represents visal actual union, presence. It's a state of Fana, or annihilation, a profound joining, a merging with the beloved, stepping out of being separate.
Wow. From just smelling the spring to being the spring almost.
That's a good way to put it. It's moving from admiring to actually merging with that ultimate reality.
So what happens? Jesus hears this deep desire.
Well, the story takes a really profound turn. Jesus prays for him, and his wish is granted. But when Jesus returns later, the temple's gone. The spring is gone, and the ascetic himself, he's dead, described as covered in blood on the mountaintop.
Whoa, that's intense.
It is. It's a very vivid, startling symbol of what Attar calls the Makami Fana, this station of annihilation, of complete union. It's not a gentle fading away. It's a total transformation that requires letting go of the old self.
And choosing Jesus for this story, that feels deliberate. Why him?
Oh, very deliberate. Jesus is known as Ruhullah, the Spirit of God, pure spirit. He embodies the Dami Hayat, the breath of life.
Ah, the breath of life.
So he's the perfect guide to lead the ascetic from the outer sort of temporary experience, the physical temple, to the deep inner reality of union. From symbol to reality, external devotion to internal transformation.
That image of the spring field, though, it really sticks. What is it about spring, Bahar, that Attar finds so significant here? Is it just a nice setting?
No, definitely not just scenery. Spring is special for Attar because it's moderate climate. It allows everything hidden within the earth seeds, potential, all that hidden life, to emerge and become visible on the surface.
Okay.
And this perfectly illustrates a key idea for Attar. Darun, the inner reality, and Barun, the outer reality.
Inner and outer, like the earth has both.
Exactly, and so does everything, including us. Our physical body, our Barun, you can measure it, see it. But our Darun, our inner being, our thoughts, consciousness, it's boundless, immeasurable.
So spring is like a moment where the earth's inner reality, its Darun, briefly shows itself outwardly, like it opens up for a bit.
Precisely, a glimpse of that vast, usually hidden inner potential.
And this idea of inner and outer, it seems like it stretches even to how we understand time.
It absolutely does. Attar makes this pretty radical claim. Time is awareness of time.
Okay, unpack that a bit. Time is awareness of time.
Yeah, think about it. If you're not aware of time passing, does it really pass for you in a meaningful way? Like a rock, maybe. Or think of those sleepers of the cave legend says slept for 300 years but thought it was half a day.
Right. Their subjective experience was completely different from the objective clock time.
Exactly. So time isn't just some external clock ticking away independently. It's fundamentally tied to consciousness. Our experience of every single moment is shaped by our awareness, our presence within it.
So it's not just objective hours and minutes. There are deeper layers.
Oh, definitely. They talk about Dar, which is kind of like eternity or maybe a realm of continuous presence. And Sarmad, the everlasting divine time. God, being Sarmad, is beyond our kind of time and space.
God doesn't experience time passing like we do.
Right. And this brings us to the Sufi idea of being Ibn al-Waqt, the child of the moment.
Meaning being totally present, right? In each waqt, each moment, or dem, each breath.
Perfectly put, deeply present and thoughtful. And speaking of moments, they discuss Eid, the New Year. We see it as repeating, right? Same holiday every year. But Attar says, no, time never truly repeats. Each moment is actually a unique new achievement, a Dastavard. It's not a rerun.
Why not? It feels like it repeats.
Because, he argues, moments don't cause each other in a simple chain. Each moment arises fresh, totally new, from what he calls the fountain of the unseen.
Wow. So it's not just linear progression, but a constant, fresh creation. Every single instant.
That's the idea. Constant renewal. It changes how you think about everything, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's why Rumi said, speak new words so that the two worlds may become new. New thought, new awareness creates a new reality in that freshly arising moment.
Okay.
And they connect this to the idea of Nafas al-Rahman, the breath of the All-Merciful. These are like divine breaths, inspirations that infuse each moment, keeping time fresh, alive.
Like a constant divine input.
Kind of, and this is why saints, the Awliya, are often called Kidra, which means green or evergreen, because they're always in spring, always vibrant, always receptive to these fresh divine breaths.
So time is much more inward anfasi than outward afaki, tied deeply to our consciousness.
Exactly. It's part of our being, not just a stage we act on. Which naturally brings us back to the seeker in Attar's work.
Right, the Misabat Nameh, the Book of Trials. The central figure is the Saliki Equal, the seeker of thought.
And this spiritual journey, this suluk, it's definitely not passive.
It's intentional, you said. How so? More than just learning stuff.
It's the consciousness, the intent. A rock moves if you push it. A plant grows. But a thalik, a true seeker, that involves a deliberate, intentional movement towards truth. It requires awareness and love, actually. That's an active search.
Because only conscious thought can make that kind of journey.
That's the idea. And the first big obstacle this seeker faces is something Attar calls the Lashkar-e-Khaiyal, the army of imagination.
The army of imagination. He sees imagination as that powerful, almost like an enemy.
Well, incredibly powerful, yeah. And potentially overwhelming. Attar emphasizes its speed. Nothing on earth moves as fast as imagination, he said. It can just flood us, create illusions, block real progress if it's not managed.
I can relate to that feeling of thoughts just running wild sometimes.
Right. Unmanaged, it can warp reality, lead us away from truth. It's a formidable force.
But if the seeker gets past this, this army, they encounter something called azadi. Intellect freed from its fetters. That sounds like a paradox. Intellect feels like freedom, not something bound.
It is a paradox and a really important one. The Arabic word for intellect, aql, actually comes from equal the rope used to tie a camel's leg.
No way. So the word itself has binding built into it.
Exactly. It shows the potential for intellect to be bound, limited. But for Attar, true intellect, what he often links with hikmat or wisdom, is inherently free.
Free from what?
Free from material desires, worldly ambitions, narrow prejudices, ego, even just being trapped by limited information or dogma. It's about liberating the mind to perceive clearly.
Okay, so an unbound intellect. And the seeker gives this liberated intellect some really powerful titles.
Yeah, really evocative ones. First, master of my binding and unbinding.
Meaning it directs our choices, our commitments.
Exactly. It's the director. Second, Naqwad, the critic or discriminator. Its core job is sifting truth from falsehood, pure from impure, critically evaluating everything.
Unlike animals acting purely on instinct.
Right. Our intellect can get clouded by desires, so it needs that critical function. And third, manifold of religious duty is sewn upon your stature.
Meaning our reason makes us ethically responsible.
Precisely. Only beings with intellect, with akwal, are truly accountable for their actions.
That makes sense. And then there's that really expansive one. Your boundary extends to the limit of non-existence. What does that mean?
It sounds abstract, but it basically means the intellect's potential for knowing is boundless. Like light, it can illuminate everything that is, and it can even conceive of what is not, the absence of being. There's no inherent limit to what it can explore or understand.
Okay, so this unbound intellect is incredibly powerful, capable of directing us, discerning truth, exploring everything. Yet, Attar seems to suggest there's still a limit, a fundamental distinction it runs up against.
Yes, even for this liberated intellect. He introduces this fascinating distinction between kun, which means essence, and wa, which means aspect or appearance.
Essence versus appearance.
Okay. The idea is, while our intellect is amazing at exploring the how of things, their function, their properties, how they appear, their waj, it really struggles to grasp their ultimate kun, their true intrinsic essence, what a thing fundamentally is at its core.
So like your clock example, we can understand how it works, all the parts interacting, that's its wash.
Right.
But the deep essence of time itself, its kun, that remains elusive.
That seems to be what Attar's pointing at. Think about science, brilliant at understanding the waj of matter, how it behaves, its laws, but does it tell us what matter truly is, its absolute kun?
That's a huge question.
Or psychology, it studies behaviors, thoughts, emotions, the waj of being human. But the ultimate kun of consciousness itself, still a profound mystery.
And things like love or beauty, we experience their effects, their waj, powerfully. But defining their absolute essence, their kun, it's almost impossible to pin down.
Exactly. Our intellect is incredible for the how, the what it does, the how it appears, but the absolute what it is, maybe that's a limit we have to accept. A bit humbling, maybe.
Definitely humbling. But then, after all this high-flying intellectual exploration, Attar does something surprising. He points us downwards to the earth itself for guidance.
It's a really remarkable shift in the Musibatnam, yeah. The seeker enters into this dialogue with the earth, and the earth describes itself kind of paradoxically as passive material, yet also as the keeper of nature's deepest secrets.
Holding life and wisdom within it.
And then comes this lament from the earth. It talks about feeling overlooked, treated with contempt, how humans disrespect it, pollute it, bury their dead in it.
That feels incredibly modern, doesn't it?
Wow.
Very ecological.
It really does. A warning from centuries ago. Yet, despite this, the earth keeps giving, yielding fruit, nurturing life. It's portrayed as this act of unconditional love, almost, sacrifice. Attar clearly suggests our problems stem from this basic disrespect.
And then the earth issues this challenge. How can you find life from a dead heart? Become alive within me that you may find a result. It's asking us to embody the earth's virtues.
That's exactly it. Attar, through the earth, highlights three key qualities. First is hilm, deep forbearance, profound patience, but not passive, like giving up. It's active steadfastness, like the earth enduring winter, holding steady, knowing spring will come.
Okay, active patience. What else?
Second, kushki, which means like beautiful good nature, inherent goodness. It shows up as generosity, like the earth just giving its fruits freely without asking anything back.
Generosity and steadfast patience. Got it. But you said the real key, the answer to become alive within me, is the third one. Tamal, what is that exactly? Just thinking.
Oh, it's much more than just thinking. Tamal is profound, deliberate consideration. It implies foresight, carefully weighing long-term outcomes. It's proactive, wise deliberation.
Okay, deliberate consideration. Foresight.
Think of the earth in winter again. On the surface, it looks dormant, passive. Right.
Yeah.
Totally still. But internally, it's holding potential. It's enduring. It's actively preparing for spring. That internal preparation, that deep, patient, forward-looking consideration, that's Tamal in action.
Wow, okay. So how does this connect back to us? If we have that inner fire, Attar talks about anger, rage, and wind, chaotic thoughts, destructive passions. How do we find balance, that agudal he mentions? How do we practice Tamal?
That's the crucial link. We learn from the earth by consciously cultivating humility, that deep patience, hilm, and especially Tamal. These act like anchors, or maybe cooling water on those volatile inner elements. Exercising Tamal, taking that thoughtful, deliberate pause before reacting impulsively, that's what stops the inner fire and wind from causing harm. It's how we achieve agudal, inner balance moderation. Attar suggests it's absolutely vital for flourishing.
And it sounds like this deep consideration, Tamal, is also somehow linked to tajamale, to beauty and grace.
Hmm.
How does inner discipline create outer grace? That's fascinating.
It really is. Attar connects them directly. He suggests that tamal, that wise deliberation, naturally leads to agudal, balance. And where there's true balance, inner harmony, there's tajamale, true beauty.
Not just surface prettiness.
No, not at all. It's a deep inner harmony that radiates outward. It shapes how we act, how we carry ourselves. Think about it. Unchecked anger, that inner fire. It's ugly, destructive.
Yeah, no.
But tamal is the pause, the reflection that brings balance. And the result of that balanced action is tajimale, a beautiful, graceful action, or even just a graceful presence.
This makes me think of that famous story about Imam Ali in the Battle of the Trench. It sounds like a perfect example of tamal.
It's textbook tamal in action. Imam Ali, this model of virtue, is in this intense fight. His opponent spits on him, the immediate impulse, pure rage, right?
Absolutely.
But Ali pauses. He visibly steps back, collects himself, takes that crucial moment of tamal, and then finishes the fight. He said later if he'd struck in that first instant of anger, it would have been for his own ego, his fury, not purely for justice or for God.
Wow. That pause changed everything.
It did. That deliberate consideration, stepping back from the raw impulse to consciously choose the higher motive, that was tamal. And the outcome,
Tajimale.
pure tajimale. It was seen then and now as an act of incredible grace, integrity, self-mastery. It showed true strength isn't just force, but control, intention. An action born from tamal has that kind of considered weight, that lasting quality.
So all these threads, the unbound intellect, the earth's wisdom, the practice of tamal, they seem to be weaving together, pointing towards, well, towards some core truth. Maybe like that mystic Rabia saw it, seeing everything through the creator first.
Right. Rabia's perspective, as Attar portrays her, was that she was already immersed in the creator, so naturally she saw all of creation through that primary lens. It's sometimes called burhan alam, philosophically see the creator first, then understand creation as flowing from that source.
It's such a contrast to how we often operate, isn't it?
Yeah.
We see the intricate design in a phone. We know there's intelligence behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we look at the universe, infinitely more complex and beautiful, and struggle to see the designer.
It really boils down to how we see, doesn't it? We have our two physical eyes for the outer world, the barun. But Attar suggests we also have these inner eyes, inner faculties for perceiving inner reality, the darun.
Like how we grasp time or space. Our outer senses don't see those directly.
Exactly. It's an inner faculty, part of our consciousness that grasps those concepts. And Attar, like many mystics, suggests the highest reality, the arsh, the throne. It's not just out there, somewhere infinitely distant. It's also found within. Remember the saying, the heart of the believer is the throne of the most merciful.
Finding that boundless depth inside ourselves, which brings us back to self-awareness, right? Attar's Kaaba of the soul.
Yes, exactly. That Kaaba of the soul is that inner sanctuary, the core of our being, our self-awareness, knowledge without self-awareness. It's kind of empty, isn't it?
It feels like it would be.
If someone knows everything about the world but doesn't know themselves, what's the real value? That's why the hadith says, whoever knows himself knows his Lord. Self-understanding is the path, the starting point.
In the very process of thinking itself, Attar describes it as an active movement, born from this inner light, this self. Our minds are always moving.
Inherently active, yeah. Constantly connecting ideas, understanding, moving from known to unknown. And Attar suggests this very movement originates from that inner light, that soul, the Kaaba within. It's a presence we can't really lose, even if we ignore it.
So the more we quiet the noise, that army of imagination,
The brighter that inner light becomes. We have to actively cultivate that focus, that desire for truth.
Okay, so what's the takeaway for us, for you listening? It sounds like truth isn't something passive we just wait for.
Not at all. It's always present, always available. But we have to be select seekers, actively seeking it. Remember what Rumi said, "Oh, brother, you are but thought. The rest is bone and sinew. If your thought is a rose, you are a rose garden. If it is a thorn, you are kindling for the furnace."
Powerful. Our thoughts shape our reality, our very being. Being a seeker is the path. So as you go about your week, maybe consider this thought.
Yeah, maybe think about what small, consistent inner practice of tamal, that deliberate consideration, could you explore, maybe starting today?
Yeah, it could be tiny, right?
Yeah.
Like taking just one conscious breath before replying when you feel triggered, or just a split-second thought about consequences before reacting strongly. How might that tiny pause, that bit of inner discipline, How might it lead to more outer grace, more taji mole in your interactions?
And maybe, how could embracing the earth's virtues, that deep patience, Hilm, that wise deliberation, Tamal, bring more agadal, more balance, more real beauty into your life? Not just inside, but in how you engage with everything, everyone.
Because maybe the deepest wisdom isn't always in the grandest revelations or the most complex ideas.
Sometimes, maybe often, it's right here, right under our feet, in the earth's example, and right within our own capacity for conscious, deliberate thought.